Amanda, Kyle, welcome to Us Weekly.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to be back.
Yes, definitely. It's good to see you guys. I'm so excited for this season. Are you?
Niner, number 9.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to believe.
I think it's one of our better seasons.
Okay.
On a personal level.
It's like, yay. I know that people are like,
It's
why
only
are we...
been 9 years.
Finally made it. We did it. So what were your expectations going into the house this season coming off of the reunion?
None. I'm normally just focused on myself and just trying to get myself through the summer. I'm not really thinking about anyone else.
It's like control
But I should be.
what you can control.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, there was certainly moments where I was scratching my head just wondering, like, how are we going to make this work? But ultimately, we always managed to, to come together. And
everyone in the house is choosing to be in the house, you know? So no matter what their, like, history is or, like, their past, everyone's, aware that it's their choice to be there.
Right.
So they gotta figure it out one way or the other.
right. You got to coexist on a show like Summer House.
You definitely do.
Under one roof.
Under one roof, yes. You said that this was the best summer for you guys in a while. How so and why?
Well, I think part of it has to do with my antidepressants. I think that really was a great change and shift for me. And then also just, his support and helping me, pursue some of my passions with, like, career stuff and just, like, letting me do that and us figuring out my relationship with Loverboy and then also working on some other things. And I think it was good for us not to work on a daily basis on the business. We're very passionate and we're very hot-headed and we both think we're always right. So the day-to-day wasn't
I am always right.
we weren't always professional in a work setting. Let's just say that.
Yeah. No, I think that it's kind of funny. Like, marriage is just it comes down to two simple things, like patience, respect, and then
Communication.
okay, maybe it's a couple things: support, communication,
Affection.
and look, like, we're not perfect. We've kind of put it all out there year after year, and I think that I know it sounds crazy, but, like, you try to, like, figure out what's important, what matters. Let's not sweat the small stuff. So,
and Kyle really gave me the space to, like, figure myself out when I was at my lowest and gave me the time for, like, the meds to kick in and for me to start feeling like myself again. And that's, like, where his patience really came through. It was like, okay, if you need to rot on the couch all week, like, let's do it. But, hey, maybe you want to, like, shower.
yeah, I mean, there was...
we laugh about it now. It was
but I'm sure it was a
but, like,
tough
having
time.
his support and patience through that was great too, because he could have easily gotten very frustrated. But yeah, I think it paid off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of like a problem solver, so it's very hard for me to just, like...
He's like, how can I fix your depression?
Yeah. Well, that's one way to put it.
Well, like you said, you laugh about it now, but I'm sure it was a really trying time for your marriage. It's a test for you guys.
Yeah, but I think all those things sort of bring us closer together, and it's all the obstacles and hurdles that we've been through, I think, just continue to make us stronger. It might not be everyone's cup of tea for a relationship, but it works for us.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Now, we saw last summer you were kind of having a hard time dealing with Amanda wanting to step back from Loverboy. Do you feel like now that was the best decision?
Well, it was kind of twofold. One, I know what goes into starting something from scratch.
Sure.
And then two, I knew, Loverboy, it's been a challenging couple of years because we launched something like 40 states. And then to keep that functioning and working together requires a lot of work, even on, like, the creative side. So it was kind of like, well, we can't take our foot off the gas pedal and then at the same time start something from the ground up. And I think what ultimately kind of ended up working in our favor is we found, a team that can kind of help bring in a lot of the moving pieces to help her kick this thing off. Because swim, my cousins run a surf shop. You have to buy so far in advance. So there's tons of planning, design work. Like, I have a little glimmer of this because my cousins go to, like, this, like, swim expo every year. And so it's, like, a very timeline-driven industry where there's just a lot of advanced planning. And
So I didn't, we were able to work on our things sort of separately, but also together. So, like, he helps with some business stuff for me, and I still help with creative stuff with Loverboy, but ultimately, like, we're not working together day to day, and it's been great for us, right?
Yeah.
I think,
No, it's look, anytime you mix business into relationships, whether it's friendships, marriage, I mean, it's true. It's wildly complicated.
Yes.
And
As soon as Kyle wanted to do a year-end review with me, I was like, I'm out. I'll do a year-end review on you and our marriage if you want to do one on me on the business.
yeah, she's like, I don't report to you, and I don't want anyone to report to me. And I'm like, huh. All right.
Yeah. How are things going with Carl and Loverboy?
Yeah, I mean, like similar situation. You know, there was always a desire to build up our non-alc business, build up the THC beverage business with Loverboy. But I also wanted him to be able to pursue his interests and feel like he's in control of his own destiny. So he kind of took a step back. But then towards the end of the previous season, we were like trying to work that out. And sure enough, we ended up putting together like this part-time kind of like freelance oriented role for him that actually worked really, really well for about a year. And then, he's very focused on softball right now. We're very focused on kind of like taking the next step with Loverboy and Flowerboy. And this is kind of a slower time of the year for the industry.
Okay.
So he's focused on his fundraising and opening softbar's door. But we'll hope to bring him back into the fold again.
Yeah, and I think something that's really interesting is that the three of us, started working on Loverboy together, and we were, working with each other every single day. And now that it's become such a big thing, like I'm able to pursue, some of my stuff. Carl's able to pursue his stuff, and we still got our hands in the cookie jar.
Sure, yeah, kind of dip it in and out
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like you set a curfew for yourself this summer, at least in episode 1.
Yeah, like 2 a.m.
Right.
What's the Ed Sheeran line? It's like nothing good happens after
Right,
2.
after, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's baby steps. It's
Okay.
baby steps.
For a 42-year-old man, baby steps.
Yeah, I mean, look, I work hard for my summer, so I still, I need that social connection. I need that outlet. I look forward to it, but I don't need to be the last man standing
Okay.
every night.
Are you happy with that?
Well, for now.
For now.
We'll see. Because there's always going to be someone else. So he could say, I don't need to be the last man standing. And then he comes home at 5 a.m. and he's like, well, everyone was still
Right,
partying. And I'm like,
That's
Yeah.
not the point.
there's always going to be something going on.
It's
You
summer.
need to
It's
wear
summer in the
like-
Hamptons.
It's summer in the
And
Hamptons.
it's fall in the city. And it's winter and snow. And it's, it's always something.
It's always
Well, that's
something.
true. The seasons do change.
Are you still planning on looking for a house outside of the city? Like, I know you guys have been so open about, expansion of family and things like
Yeah.
that. I hate asking that question.
No,
I hate
no,
it.
it's
But,
okay.
like, what's.
Yeah, I think for me right now, I think I was looking for happiness because I was in such a dark place. And now that I have gotten out of that, I'm really focused on my mental health. And now I'm focused on this career stuff that I'm pursuing. And like, this is what's bringing me joy right now. And I'm having fun with this in the moment. I have my dogs that make us both so happy. And I think sort of like satisfy that urge to maybe
Sure.
start a family.
Yeah.
And we're able to kind of continuing focusing on our careers and see where things go. And then we'll see what happens for
Yes.
us, you know?
Totally.
Season 8,
I've given up timelines. I've given up game plans because
No, but
it
I'm-
never works out that way.
but when you brought up happiness, I mean, ultimately, we were actually trying to find like an investment property where we could escape from the city, because she was just like, part of her unhappiness at that time, she kind of assumed was the city, and maybe it still might be. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we weren't yet ready to look for like our
home.
actual primary residence in New Jersey. We were looking at investment properties in the Hamptons. It got a little confusing, as to like what they showed, but
Right.
ultimately, like, no, we haven't started looking at actual homes to move into, but at some point, that's inevitable.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm glad you're happy.
Thank you.
And you guys are in a good place.
Yes.
That's the most important thing.
Yes, and having fun.
And having fun.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's going to be a fun summer, a different summer, obviously,
Yes.
because we have a pregnant Lindsay Hubbard.
Yeah.
But different in a good way.
Different in
Like,
a
my
good
MO
way.
the whole summer was I just want to make Lindsay laugh. She's not drinking, but I'm going to bring joy.
Yes. What is an activated Lindsay pregnant like?
So pleasant and joyful. Honestly, she was very respectful while activated. It was just like, okay, fine.
Yeah,
Done.
yeah. You'll see a moment where things got a little heated, but we were able to get have conflict and resolution
All in one setting,
Yeah.
one sitting.
What is this?
Yeah, no, it was wild, but
Yeah.
we all were sort of like, is that it? Is it? We're done.
Oh, moving on.
Right.
Okay.
Was it a genuine surprise? Because we see her tell everybody in the first episode. Was it a genuine surprise for the two of you? Or did you have your speculations?
I had my speculations. We had been at 2 different weddings with her. Her drinking was questionable because I kept seeing her picking up glasses and then putting full ones down and picking up other ones. And I was like, none of that is going away. It's just sitting in the
Right.
glass.
And we're not immune to something like the internet chatter.
Sure.
Yeah, but the last thing I was ever going to do is ask. She doesn't owe anyone, she doesn't have to tell anyone if she's pregnant. Like, she didn't have to, she could be huge, like 8 months and still be like, I don't owe you anything. So when she finally announced it, I was very excited because, I don't know, it just like
Well,
made
it was
so
finally
real.
official.
Yeah.
And, if you know Lindsay, like, that she's wanted to be a mom. And, you can just kind of, you could see the excitement. You could see, her, I mean, she came to the house with a foam core board of her sonogram.
Yeah.
Like, you could
Up on
tell.
the mantle.
Yeah,
like
not
she-
having planned anything.
So,
Like,
I mean,
that was Lindsay literally not planning anything, was just the
Right.
speech and the foam core.
but it was fun to have, kind of be, to some extent on that journey with her.
Yeah, I mean, we literally got to watch the baby grow inside of her all summer and feel her kick and like watch her move around and watch Lindsay get bigger, and that was just really cool. It felt like we were just one big family, all raising this baby together.
I mean, Jesse's reaction to the news is a bit of shock, and he's like, whoa, this is a little weird, because a lot of people were, questioning timeline and things like that. I mean, she's happy.
Yes.
It's her baby. That's all that matters. But did that go through your head too?
Yes and no. For me, I feel like it didn't really matter because ultimately, Carl and Lindsay were like, they were done. Like, they were done with one another, and you have to move on at some point. Did we backtrack a little bit? Yeah, but it's.
I think at the
Carl
reunion,
was happy for Lindsay.
Yeah,
Lindsay's
Carl
also
genuinely, like, was
obviously
like-
very happy.
he probably knew better than anybody that how eager she was to have kids. It was part of their kind of timeline. And I think at one point they talked about pushing me at the wedding, but she's like, no, the wedding can't be in January. That's when we're having a baby or making a baby.
Yeah.
So, I think that at the reunion there's a clear fork in the road, for them, and I think the fact that she was pregnant was like, okay, yeah, like we are literally going down 2 different roads, and the fact that they could kind of coexist and make it work last summer is
There was nothing lingering. It was like a very clean split at that point.
I mean, I can't imagine what it was probably like for you guys. I mean, as a viewer, I'm like, when he walks in, I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Like, this is so awkward. Was it as awkward for you guys being there, seeing them kind of interact for the first time?
No, I don't really remember.
I was watching pretty closely.
I mean, I'm sure it's one weird to be in a house with your ex-fiance, and then another thing for her to be pregnant, and same for her in reverse. But I think I was trying to, because I'm so aware of awkwardness, I try to pretend that things are not awkward in order for me not to feel
a good way
awkward.
to
So I
put
think
it.
I was oblivious to it.
I was not. When
I was like,
Carl,
everything's good. We're
when
fine.
Carl came out to the pool,
Yeah.
he kind of just never really announced that he was there. So, and I was standing far enough away where I couldn't really see. And I'm like, I look over, I'm like, Carl, how long have you been just standing there? And so you could kind of tell he's walking on eggshells. When I went up to him, I could just tell he was it was a ball of anxiety. And
Well, coming into the house a day late, it's always, the build-up of it
Right.
all is a lot.
So
my
my goal-
the sonogram on the mantle.
right, I don't know if you saw that on the way in,
Right.
but
I was like, someone take it down.
I stayed up there all summer.
he did get clued in by some friends outside
Yes,
the house.
I'm sure he saw the Instagram post and everything like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
No,
well,
he has
he doesn't follow her, but
Yeah,
other people.
he has a group of friends that I guess send him everything that she does. And so he's always aware, and he's like, please stop.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I was just like, I forget if I was saying this on camera or if I just manifested this, but I was just like, I need to function like their initial, like we need to break the ice. Like we can't let this, because it was, I felt the awkwardness. So I was just trying to convince him, like, find a moment in the kitchen, like where it's just the two of you. Wish your congrats, because I know that's how he was feeling, and that's what he was kind of conveying. And
because even when the rumors were out, you know, we obviously had conversations with Carl, and we were traveling with him a lot too. And he was like, if this is true, like, I'm genuinely happy for her. Like, I genuinely. And so, yeah, for him to, like, say something to her in person was probably hard, but it's truly how he felt.
Yeah. How would you describe the state of their friendship? I don't even know if it's a friendship. The state of their, I'll say it, the state of their friendship in the beginning of the summer and then at the end.
I think they were just happy to coexist. You know, I don't think that there was, I think once the reunion aired, they were able to kind of close that chapter. And then they both were just sort of moving on.
there were a couple moments, though, where they could kind of laugh at some of the irony, or, you know, I just remember being at the dinner table and I'm like, I hope like we
They
all
were
can laugh
really
about
good
it. And
sports.
yeah, they were good sports. And
they're still so similar. Like, there'd be times where Carl would come home with breakfast, and like a few minutes later, Lindsay would walk in the kitchen with coffee for everyone, and it was like, you guys are so similar.
they had their morning routines.
Yeah, it's like in a different world,
Yeah.
in a different lifetime. But yeah, and I'm sure like they picked up on it. But
Yeah. Maybe friendship and way down the line.
that would be
maybe.
wonderful.
I think she
but
just,
we'll see.
something just popped up on my phone where she wished him a happy birthday.
Oh, okay.
He just had his 40th yesterday,
yeah,
so
big steps.
Yeah.
you know that
Right.
actually.
I have hope
that says
that
a lot.
yeah. I mean, there is so much history there, and we as a cast and as friends have been through so much together, and our relationship is something that like no one who doesn't do the show with us will ever understand. We just have a different relationship with each other, and they're always going to have that. So I would hope one day they can be in a room together and say hello and catch up. But they probably won't ever be the Trace Amigos again.
No, probably not. Well, it does seem like things do get maybe heated between the two of them. It's based on, you know, teaser trailer that she accuses him of cheating and being a fraud. He still harbors a lot of anger and resentment. Is there any kind of context that you can give around that without giving too much away?
I think they were able to cover a lot of ground at the reunion. There were some lingering things that I think they just needed to address, and
They did a great job addressing it.
yeah, that was like kind of the conflict resolution.
We were all
right?
entertained.
So,
Yes.
And you guys will be
Like,
too.
where's my popcorn?
Yeah, we had a front row seat to it, and you guys
Yeah.
will enjoy watching it also.
yeah, so I think it needed to be done.
It was, honestly, it was I've never seen them communicate better with one another.
Interesting. Have you met the baby? Have you met her boyfriend? Everybody good?
We met Turner actually in April when we were at one of the weddings,
Went to the bridal baby shower.
the baby shower, and then I met Gemma recently, and she's just so precious. She's literally like a beautiful little baby doll. She's perfect. So
I'm gonna have to go over when I have my or no, she gets her vaccine soon.
yeah,
Okay.
but Lindsay is just so suited for motherhood. It's so like being there. You would think it would be weird to like see her like with the baby, and it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Like it just fits so well, and just seeing her like do airplane with Gemma and like all this cute stuff. I was like, this just seems so natural and normal for you.
Good for her. That's great.
Yeah, we're really happy
Yeah.
for her.